you may have noticed that in addition to the main pixel filter interface, there's a drawable interface and an interactive interface. Drawable things are filters that you are able to draw on top of the filtered image. Interactive are ones that respond to mouse clicks and key presses. So let's make an interactive filter. So here I have my fixed threshold filter, which looks like this. We've got a threshold attribute, which is set to 127. And then inside process image, we just loop over all the pixels and set them black or white depending on the threshold. So in addition to implementing pixel filter now, let's implement interactive. You'll see it's red because we haven't actually implemented the methods yet. So let's implement the methods. They are mouse clicked and key pressed. And so here they are down here. Let's do mouse clicked first. What do I actually want to do it for mouse clicked? Well, let's do this. First of all, let's just display something to the console. So we'll print out mouse X and then mouse Y, just so that you can see that something happens. And then for key pressed, let's do key was and then key like this. And you'll notice that key is the char data type. Okay, so that's enough to actually have something interactive happen, although it's not very interesting. Let's run it. So here's this. I'm going to load fixed threshold filter, show the image. Okay, and so then when I click, you'll notice each time I click, it's displaying, so you can see down here in the lower left-hand corner, each time I click, it's displaying some coordinates. And then if I hit buttons like D or F, oops, okay, well, so now I'm screwing it up. But if I hit some keys, it was displaying what the keys were, but I accidentally tried to load a new filter and then didn't load one, and then there was null. Let's try again. Fixed threshold filter. Okay. All right, so look, you can see I, U, P, like that. So what I actually want to be able to do is change things about the filter based on my key presses and mouse clicks. So let's say if key equals the plus symbol, and char, you can actually use double equals because char is primitive. You don't need to use dot equals. So I'm going to set the threshold plus equal to 20, let's say. And then if key equals minus, then we'll subtract from the threshold. And right now I'm not trying to prevent the threshold from going too high or too low. But let's see what that looks like. So fixed threshold filter. Okay, so I'm going to show the image, and now as I'm hitting the plus key, oops, I got to click in here. Now as I'm hitting the, why is this not working? Okay, well, I don't see why it's not working. So here's a good debugging thing. Should always show what you're doing. So you pressed, and then key, and then let's print out what the new threshold value is. New threshold is, and so then we can actually see if it's changing the way it should be. Free debugging lesson for you there. See if it was of any value. Fixed threshold filter. All right, so we're going to show it, and now I'm pressing the plus key. New threshold 87, 120, 127. Okay, so we see the threshold changing. But you might notice that as the threshold's changing, we're not actually seeing the image updating. That's because we have to unpause it. So let's go ahead and press P to unpause. And so now I can press plus, and you see the threshold changing, minus, and you see the threshold changing. So that's how you have it responds to key presses. Let's do this. For mouse clicked, let's not display the coordinates, but let's actually display the color value where we're clicking, or the black and white value. So short val, or no, sorry, let's do this. Short pixels equals image dot get black white pixel grid. And then we can say pixels mouse Y, because that's the row, mouse X, because that's the call. So let's get the value out. And so then value at, and then the coordinates is, and then val. And this can be useful for debugging if you want to actually see sort of what's happening at a particular region in your image. Fixed threshold filter. So when I click, okay, so here's an important thing to notice. You see that as I'm clicking, the value is not 255. So what's actually happening is it's showing me the grayscale value at the original unfiltered image. And here's the filtered image, but it's not reflecting the filtered image. If you want to be able to see what's happening in the filtered image, then you'll need to rerun your filter inside mouse clicked on this D image and then ask questions about the result. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Oh, by the way, I guess I'm actually thinking about changing the API for this, so maybe it would be helpful for me to give you both the filtered and the unfiltered. But I haven't done it yet.